What's up, guys, and welcome to Star Wars Explained. There's been a pretty major announcement about Episode 9 that was just announced by Lucasfilm. On StarWars.com, you can read that Colin Trevorrow will no longer be directing Episode 9. I'm just going to read the announcement they made real quick, and then we will discuss it. But Lucasfilm and Colin Trevorrow have mutually chosen to part ways on Star Wars Episode 9. Colin has been a wonderful collaborator throughout the development process, but we have all come to the conclusion that our visions for the project differ. We wish Colin the best and will be sharing more information about the film soon. Okay, first of all, just let me say, Lucasfilm, can you cut me some slack? I was at Dragon Con all weekend, and you revealed some new ships, you put out a new trailer for Star Wars Rebels Season 4, now this is happening. I have 2 books to read. Well, I just finished Phasma. I'm having to take a break from my Phasma review to now talk about this with you guys, but just too much. Just let me have my Labor Day weekend, let me read my books. Oh, it's just been a lot. So, when we're talking about this, this statement just comes off as very generic, and yeah, we had creative differences and blah, blah, blah. Really, I'm just grateful that it's happening now and not before the film starts production. I would hate to have the same thing happen where, oh, we're in Rogue One and it's almost over, but we need to do all these reshoots, and we're almost done shooting the Han Solo film, but now we're firing Lord and Miller, and, at least it's happening now and not later. My initial reaction to this, though, is surprise, but I'm not upset about it. I don't mind Colin Trevorrow, but when he was announced as the director of Episode 9, I was like, that's fine, but there's probably better choices. I liked his movie Safety Not Guaranteed. I thought it was heartfelt. I enjoyed the characters, but it was a small indie movie. Jurassic World was fine to me. I enjoyed it, but it didn't match the greatness of the first Jurassic Park by a long shot. So, I didn't really dislike the guy or his work, but I've heard that the Book of Henry that just came out was just a disaster. And there have been kind of rumblings of something behind the scenes going on for a while. They brought in a playwright to totally rework the script. It didn't sound like things were going great for this film. I think it's probably, in the long run, going to be good news. Now we can talk about, if you have any questions regarding this, let's talk about it. I'm going to go ahead. I assume people are going to ask me who should replace him. I would love to see Rian Johnson do it. So far, what we've seen of Episode 8, it's been very exciting. I know a lot of people are like, it's just going to be a rehash of The Empire Strikes Back. I don't think that at all. I think he's going to do something very unexpected, and I would kind of like to see where he takes it after that. It would not upset me at all if Rian Johnson just kept on working. He might need a little bit of a break, but hopefully he can suck it up and do another film. He's been talking about how much he loves working in this universe. He said that he would work in this universe again. So is J.J. Abrams. I wouldn't... That would be kind of something where I'd be like, okay, I love The Force Awakens, don't get me wrong, but I will agree that Lucasfilm played it very safe with that film. I don't think he brought anything all that new to the table. He did a great job with the characters. I love all the new characters. So he set some groundwork, but I would love to see Rian Johnson just keep on going with it. So, like I said, I was in the middle of doing my Phasma review, but I do want to spend some time taking some questions from you guys. So let's talk for another 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to get back to work. Chris Nolan. I love Chris Nolan, don't get me wrong, but he is so serious. I'd be interested to see what he brings. I would be excited to see what he brings even, but I don't know if I could handle my Star Wars being my Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a amazing movie. I love it, but it's so grim. And I like my Star Wars to be a little happier, but I would be excited to see what he did if they announced it. Um, I saw someone recommend Filoni. I'd be cool with that. I think Filoni deserves to get a spinoff at least. I think he has great respect for all of Star Wars. So yeah, I think he could do a fantastic job. Yeah, a lot of people saying give Dave Filoni a chance. Yeah, I think he'd do a good job. Matthew Vaughn's an interesting choice. I really like the Planet of the Apes movies. He's worked with Andy Serkis and mocap before, so there's that. Edgar Wright uh, and Jon Favreau. Yeah, you're tossing out some good ideas. Jon Favreau, I mean, he's worked with Disney before. I think he could make a really solid Star Wars movie. Edgar Wright, I think he would probably find the same problems he found with Marvel. Again, like you're naming a ton of directors that I love. I love Edgar Wright. He has yet to make a bad movie. I think that he is a little bit too stylistic for the Star Wars universe. He has his own flair, and I just don't think he would be able to rein it in. I think he could if he chose to, but I don't think he would want to. I don't know that he would want to make a movie in someone else's universe. But I know he loves Star Wars, so, who knows. The Russo brothers. I think I saw the Collider guys talking about how the Russo brothers had their roots in comedy. They started with shows like Arrested Development and Community and all of these critically acclaimed, wonderful, hilarious shows. And now they're doing the Captain America movies and Avengers 3, and they're blowing them out of the water. Those movies are so much fun. So I think, or the Collider guys said this, and I tend to agree with them, that Lucasfilm was probably hoping that Lord and Miller would be the new Russo brothers. They had these comedy roots, and they took these ideas that were iffy on the surface and turned around something incredible. So maybe they could do that with Star Wars, and I think that they didn't want to abandon their comedy roots, where the Russo brothers were kind of ready to move to something new, something more dramatic and action-oriented. And I guess Lord and Miller weren't ready for that. But yeah, I would totally be down to see the Russo brothers give it a shot. Ridley Scott, Gore Verbinski, Joe Johnston. Interesting. I think I saw someone recommend Joe Johnston for the Han Solo movie. I mean, he's been involved in Star Wars for a long time, so I think he definitely has a reverence for it. On the other hand, I really did not like Jurassic Park 3. I thought Captain America 1, which he did, was okay. I do love The Rocketeer, but I would be a little more iffy on him. I still think that just Rian Johnson is my top choice. See, there's a lot of... Yeah, Dave Filoni is probably my second. There are a lot of people that... Oh, well, and there goes my wife, Catherine Bigelow. Yeah, that is... She hasn't directed a film in a while. And, I mean, she is an Academy Award-winning director. She can do some great job. She would do a great job, I think. And, I mean, Point Break and... I'm blanking on the Jeremy Renner movie. But, yeah, she makes amazing movies. The Hurt Locker. Ugh. Brain fart. So, yeah, I think... And, I mean, Lucasfilm is trying to open things up for a female audience a little more. And say what you will about, like, I don't think that's a social justice warrior thing. I think that having a female director would be a good thing for Star Wars. It would just bring in some fresh eyes. And I also like, she isn't too stylized. I think that's kind of important for things like Marvel and Star Wars, where you can't have like these crazy, like very stylized directors doing whatever they want. As much as I'd love to see Edgar Wright do a Star Wars movie, he'd have to rein it in. because they all need to feel like they fit in the same universe. I mean, Gareth did do something new with Rogue One. He provided a unique experience, but I don't think they're going to go too far off the rails and let Edgar Wright, for example, do all of these like smash cuts and crazy pans and stuff. So they have to find a balance. Nightwing, thank you for the live chat. Do I like Thrawn's voice in the Thrawn book or his voice in Rebels more? I like Lars Mikkelsen in Rebels. I don't think Lars Mikkelsen would be a good choice to direct Episode 9, though. Unless, well, I mean, I don't think he should direct it, but since you brought up Thrawn, like, I would love to see Thrawn in Episode 9. Okay, I'm seeing Peter Jackson and Zack Snyder. Sorry, I'd be against Zack Snyder. If they announced that, I would be bummed. I haven't seen a Zack Snyder movie that I liked since Watchmen. He's just kind of like, I started out with Dawn of the Dead. I liked that. I liked 300. I liked Watchmen. But ever since then, like what he's done with the DCEU, I'm not a big comics guy, so I'm not like an authority on it. You'd have to go talk to Comics Explained, but I just have not enjoyed the DC movies. Peter Jackson is someone who I have a huge respect for the Lord of the Rings movies, but didn't really like the Hobbit movies at all. I thought they were bloated, and the choices that he made were just strange. I also understand that wasn't exactly his fault, because Guillermo del Toro was going to direct it, and then it was taking so long, and he dropped out, and then like Peter Jackson came on, and instead of having like this huge groundwork set up, he had to kind of I think they said they were putting the tracks down while the train was coming barreling down towards them. They just weren't prepared. But Peter Jackson I would be hesitantly hopeful about. But okay, it's been about a little over 10 minutes, and like I said, I have to finish doing a Phasma video, a review video for you guys, so you have a video tomorrow. While I'm talking about it, Phasma was great. You should read it if you haven't already, or if you're not planning to, reconsider that. Watch my review tomorrow. I'll talk a lot more about it, but I'm just, like, I have so many ideas for videos after reading that book. I can't wait to talk about it. Now I have to go plow through Leia as well. Like I said, Lucasfilm, I'm very busy. I have a lot to do this week. After you released all this news while I couldn't report on it, let me just make videos for a second before you drop all these bombshells. Like, just give me a week, and then I'll be ready for more news. But thanks, guys, for hanging out. Thanks for asking questions. And just thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.